I'm Dr. Vanita Rattan and this channel is dedicated to skincare for skin of colour. I've been asked to review the Inkey list, which is a very popular brand in the Western world. And so I've gone through their top most popular products and broken down the ingredients list and whether I think it's suitable for skin of colour or whether you should probably steer clear. So let's start off with their number one seller. Okay, so the first product is the Inkey list Retinol. So this is 1% retinol, 0.5% gram-active retinoid, which is an ester of retinol. What I'd say is 1% retinol is very irritating and I would not recommend this concentration for skin of colour. I tend to recommend 0.2% to maximum 0.5% for skin of colour. And actually, in terms of which vitamin A is best for our skin, I would always recommend retinaldehyde to you. Retinaldehyde is 20 times as effective as retinol, but with zero side effects. If I were you, always look for retinaldehyde on the paper. So for me, the retinol serum would be a thumbs down. So the next product we're going to be talking about is the Q10 serum. So if you look at the ingredients list, it basically tells you from the highest percentage right down to the lowest percentage. So for this product, the 13th ingredient down is Q10, UBIQUINONE. So this is approximately about 2%, which is in the therapeutic range. In addition, it hasn't got any fragrance, which is fantastic because fragrance can lead to contact dermatitis over a longer period of time. In the ingredients list, it also has peptides and hyaluronic acid. However, I suspect that they're at less than 1%, so a fraction of a percent, which means they're not really going to be very effective. And I think it's more of a marketing tool to say that it has peptides and hyaluronic acid in it. But actually, those ingredients aren't going to do much in this particular formulation. The directions say that you can wear this morning and night. However, with skin of color, I would say only apply this at nighttime. There are a lot of sunblocks and serums with antioxidants in them during the day. However, you just don't want any chemical reaction taking place on your skin when UV hits it, because you don't want it to lead to pigmentation and melasma. So especially if you're prone to melasma, I definitely would not be wearing any antioxidant creams during the day. I would save it for nighttime. Load your skin up at nighttime so that you've protected your skin from the environmental stresses throughout the day. The next product we're going to talk about is their vitamin C serum. So I'm not a fan, I'm afraid. The first ingredient in the ingredients list is silicone. Now, silicone is a bit of a twofold ingredient because number one, it blocks the absorption of ascorbic acid into the skin, and so it's going to actually make the vitamin C less effective. In addition, if you are prone to acne, it can sometimes exacerbate acne. There are two schools of thought on it, but I'd probably avoid it if you are prone to getting acne. However, on the plus side, silicone actually gets great reviews because it feels deceptively luxurious on your skin. So that basically means that it's almost like silk. It fills in all the gaps. And so when you feel your skin, you think, wow, my skin feels so smooth. But it's not actually changing the texture of your skin. It's just filling in the gaps. And that's why I say it's deceptive as an ingredient. And especially being the first ingredient, I don't think it's a good idea. In addition, don't forget that when you wear a vitamin C, it's an antioxidant, and an antioxidant works much better in combination with other antioxidants as opposed to a monotherapy on its own. And so for all the above reasons, I would probably say steer clear of this product too. Moving on to the hyaluronic acid serum. I like this formulation. You know, I love when I'm actually reviewing a brand and I can actually tell you the ones that I love instead of picking holes and things. But this is a good formulation. It is multi-molecular weight, which means that it will penetrate different levels of the epidermis. It's got nothing in there that's actually going to irritate skin of color, so is suitable for our skin, and that's a low price point, which is just always a nice thing to have. The thing to note, however, with hyaluronic acid, the mistake that people make is that they don't then apply a moisturizer on top, and it's essential that you do this because don't forget, hyaluronic acid is an incredibly powerful. One molecule of hyaluronic acid will attract 1,000 molecules of water. Now, if you haven't applied water as a moisturizer on top, where do you think that water is going to come from? It's going to come from deep within your skin, your dermis, and so it's going to dry your dermis out. And that's why a lot of times when you put hyaluronic acid onto your skin, 5 minutes later your skin actually feels drier. So that's the mistake. You need to put the hyaluronic acid serum on and then a moisturizer on top, so the water is coming from there. If you live in a very dry environment, I'd even recommend that you have a humidifier in your room so that, again, the water molecules are coming from the air rather than from your skin. Another product that I like is their kaolin mask. So the way that this formulation works is that it reduces the excess sebum on the skin, which is great for acne breakouts. It also acts as a bit of an exfoliator because it removes any bacteria on the skin, any dirt, grime, pollution that happens throughout the day. It also soothes the skin of any inflammation, which is great if you're prone to breakouts. And also it's got silica dioxide in it too. And this is why it's one of those rare products which is good for both oily, acne-prone skin and dry, sensitive, mature skin. Moving on to the next product from the Inkey list is the C50 Night Treatment. Okay, so there are two key ingredients in this product. Sodium ascorbyl phosphate is the third ingredient. That means that the percentage is at approximately 5 to 7%, which is in the therapeutic range. And I think this is obviously a very good antioxidant, and it can also help with pigmentation, especially after acne. In addition, this product's got 2% salicylic acid in it. The salicylic acid is actually great for reducing acne breakouts. So the two together are very good for acne and skin of color because you, number one, want to reduce your acne breakouts, but you also want to reduce the pigmentation. From my experience at the Hyperpigmentation Clinic, monotherapies generally aren't that good when it comes to pigmentation for skin of color because when we pigment, we get very dark, stubborn pigmentation. And at my clinic, we use about 30% actives, as opposed to 5 to 7% actives in this particular product. So I think it'll start to help, but it's unlikely to completely clear the pigmentation. And moving on to another big seller for them is their collagen booster. And it is a shame because this is a terrible product. I mean, all the actives are less than 1%. So above the 1% mark is basically water, butylene glycol, glycerin, and propanediol. So basically, solvents and moisturizers make up 99% of this product. The hyaluronic acid, the peptides are all less than 1%. It's not worth your money, this one. So this was a marketing gimmick, I think. On a more positive note is the Inkey caffeine for around the eye area. So it's got 5% caffeine, 5% squalene. It's very hydrating to the skin. It also contains an ingredient called ALBIZIA JULIBRISSIN. This helps to prevent glycation, which is when glucose attaches to elastin and collagen fibers to distort it, which leads to aging. The next product is 15% vitamin C plus EGF serum. This one I don't think is worth your money either, to be honest. It does have ascorbyl glucoside in it, which is a second ingredient. So ascorbyl glucoside is basically a stable form of vitamin C, which is combined with glucose. It then absorbs into the skin and is converted to pure ascorbic acid. Vitamin C is obviously an antioxidant, but I would say this is probably not the best form of vitamin C. In addition, don't forget, antioxidants work better in combination rather than as a monotherapy on its own. And so for this reason, it's not the most effective vitamin C. In addition, it's got as its third ingredient sodium hydroxide and as its fourth ingredient hydrogenated castor oil, which can both be a little irritating too. So for me, I would say save your money. Moving on to the 10th and final product is their Ceramide Night Treatment. I'm sorry to say this one was disappointing too. I mean, the ceramides are less than 1%. I feel like, how can you put a benefit of an ingredient in the title and then not have it in the therapeutic range? So just so you've got some background about ceramides, ceramides make up 50% of our epidermis. So it's naturally occurring. However, as we age, the effectiveness of the ceramides reduces. And ceramides is what keeps your skin hydrated and plump. So as you reduce the effectiveness of ceramides in your skin can become wrinkled, dry, dull. So all the things that we're basically trying to avoid. If you've watched all my other videos, you'd know by now that I'm a cosmetics formulator as well as a doctor, which means that for me, packaging is also important. How you look after your ingredients will tell you whether or not the ingredients are going to be effective. So for ceramides, for example, it's actually very difficult to package because it is quite unstable, especially if it's exposed to air or light. In addition to everything else, ceramides, you want to have it really in a bottle or jar which won't let light through. And with this product, I believe, is not a pump, airless pump. So even that 1%, I mean, that's probably not going to be effective either. So the brands that I've reviewed so far are The Ordinary. I made 2 videos, products that are great for skin of color and products that you should steer clear of from The Ordinary. And the other video I made was for Drunk Elephant. I got so many requests for Drunk Elephant. If there are any other brands you want me to review, please can you write it in the description box below. I'm very aware that there are different brands for different countries. And for example, you might find Drunk Elephant in England, but maybe not in India. So if there are things that you want for your country too, I'm more than happy to make videos. Just tell me, you know, below what you want from me. If you haven't subscribed and hit that notification bell, please can you do it so I know that I'm on the right track and I'm giving you what you want. Thank you very much for listening. Don't forget to download your free ebook if you haven't already.